So I have another question. Why many people give up about their family life to attain enlightenment? Is it possible to attain realization while having a family life?
Of course, it is possible. It is possible because realization is a natural thing. Family life is a natural thing. If there will not be family life, the population will be stopped. The earth will be emptied completely. Not emptied, there will be many animals anyway. But, so animals don't become monks, anymore. So if all people will be monks, the world will be completely empty. Yeah. So all things are natural. So if you go to Shivapuri, on the top of Shivapuri, the mountain, there are many ways. You can go through Vishnumati or Sundari Jal or Buddha-Nilkant or whatever. So there are many ways. In ancient Hindu society, actually, the lifestyle was designed in such a way that all people become enlightened. Whether you're a man of renunciation or man with worldly life. You understand? And in every phase of life, there are 4 phases of life, they say. Ancient Hindu sages, and the system was 4 phases of life. 1 phase is celibacy and education. Celibacy and education. Up to 25 years of old. After 25 years of old, every boy or girl should maintain purity, truthfulness, honesty, all moral disciplines, and along with that, education. So education was quick because they would have discipline, or have discipline. The more you are disciplined, your work is quicker, your mind is quicker. That's why a lot of discipline was there, and those discipline have to be followed by the students staying in the ashram of the gurus. There are hundreds and thousands of gurus they will be teaching. Maybe one ashram would be as big as Kathmandu Valley, and there are thousands of students. There are not many small schools like these today. One kingdom has 1 or 2 big institutions, universities, and their children study. They are called ashram, Gurukul. They are called Gurukul. So 25 years, after 25 years, they would be thoroughly educated there. And after that, teacher would say, now you have done your duty, you have learned all the things, so many subjects they have to study, practically and theoretically. So after that, the Guru said that if you would love to renounce family life and be always dedicated to culture, education and spirituality, the door is open. Or if you want to go to family life, now you go to family life along with your culture. So then 25 years they would be in family life, from 25 to 50. So they would be, even if they would be in family life, raising children, and they would not give up their culture. They would continue their spirituality, their daily rituals, and studies, and all these things they would do. From the morning, 12 o'clock, and then went for working, and then come back at 4 o'clock. Not that nowadays that people from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night, Not like that. They have the time. So that way, 25 years, they raise family, and the family also contributed. Actually, it's a contribution because children, good children, they will be contributing to the society, and other service activities they do. So family life was meant not just for sensual pleasure, or personal pleasure, or personal comfort. Family life was also for social benevolence. Families are like the pillars in the society. Good families are the pillars. They would help the society. They would help the king. They would help the administration. They would help many things, So that way, 25 years serving the society, leading a family life. And from 50, after 50, they would give up family life. And then be exclusively studying again. Spirituality, writing books, studying books, contemplating, meditating, writing new books. You can imagine so much of Hindu philosophies are there. So much of books are there. Even now, that one man will take 10 lifetimes to finish them. After so much of destruction by Muslims, so much of destruction by the European invaders, there are so much left because how much they have written, so much of wisdom, written wisdom. So that they would do up to 75 years ago, 75 years of age, and after 75, 25 more years, they would be completely sannyasa. Sannyasa means absolute renunciation. No puja, no study, nothing. They would only remember God, do their yoga, and move around. And the final moment, they would leave their body and go away to the eternity. To the eternity. So that way the things were organized. And now, we don't find that. We don't find anything because government is not interested. Kings are not there. Rishis, they're hiding somewhere, because, and people, they are moving around here and there without a real purpose of life. So, there is a story. I tell you a very beautiful story. This story is not mine, but I have read it in Vivekananda's book once upon a time when I was a boy. A king had interest. A monk is superior or a householder is superior? Which life is better? So he announced that if anybody can answer his question, which is superior, he will reward person. So many people came, and out of the temptation of reward, many people came to answer. So some people said, no, householders are good. They are real because they are working for God, they are working everything and all this. Then the king would say, the householders are greedy. How can they be good? They marry for themselves. They plow for themselves, till land for themselves, earn money for themselves, all to satisfy their selfish ends. So how can they be good? No good. Go. And then another person would come. No sir, sannyasis are good. They renounce everything and try for wisdom. Oh, no, they cannot maintain their family life. They cannot take the responsibility, and so they live their responsibility and go and be mendicant and trump and move around. They are not good. Go. So nobody answered. If you say householder good, king is not happy. If it is a sannyasi good, king is not happy. So people stopped coming. For a long time people didn't come. And after some time, one sannyasi came. And he said to the king, sir, if you want the answer of your question, I don't want your reward. But if you want to have the answer of your question, you must move with me, travel with me, I will show you the answer. Practically. In disguise. Can you do that? Yes, sir. He called his minister and said that I will be out for 1 month, you take care of the kingdom. So he took the dress of a sadhu, himself, the king, and the two sadhus, they started walking out. They started walking, So the king walked out his kingdom, and the next kingdom was very rich kingdom. And the king had a lot of money, big empire, but he had no son. He had only one daughter. And the daughter was grown-up daughter, and she was supposed to choose her husband according to the custom in those days. And she was very beautiful, maybe Miss Universe, so beautiful, Miss Universe. So the king would announce, the king's people would announce, and then many people were invited. All the kings came, princes came, and the celebration was going on. Celebration was going on, and she would be moving with a garland in hand. And the people would be blowing trumpets and announcing, oh, she is the most beautiful woman in the world. And if she chooses someone as her husband, and half the kingdom will be given to that man, and the rest of the kingdom will come to him after the demise of the king. So that was going on, very tempting thing. But this woman, this girl, she was very beautiful, so she wanted a beautiful husband. Very handsome looking, So every day, our king and sadhu, they also went there, and the sadhu said to the king that let us stay here and watch the thing, how it is going on. They were not interested in anything, but they only watched, the sadhu said. So they were watching. So every day the girl comes with the garland and moves around, announcement goes on, but she doesn't choose anybody. Because she thought that is not, worth her, will not match her. So she was not doing. One day what happened, one young sannyasi, one young monk, he was bright like a sun, very handsome. He came to watch the same fun, it was a fun. So he came and stood there. And this girl, as she found her, she put the garland, She put the garland on his neck. And the man, the sannyasi, took the garland out and said that, oh, I am a sannyasi, don't you see that? I am a monk. I am not to have any woman or any emperor or anything, flew the garland. But the girl was so much mad after him. They put the girl again and put him. And he threw it again. And every time he's there. So the man started running. The sannyasi monk started running. And the girl also started running behind him. And this sadhu and king, they said, the sadhu said, let us also go behind them. So they also went there. And the sannyasi went inside the forest. And they vanished. And the girl was sitting under a banyan tree and was weeping. And these two, sadhu and our king, they went there and started pacifying her. Oh, no, you will find another one. No, don't you worry. And this. So it was night fell at the time because the winter season, the day was short, So night fell. So they had to stay under the tree, take refuge under the tree that day, They were seated there. And now there was a family of Doe family. Husband, wife, and son. And they could talk in those days, So the husband said to the wife, look here, life is short period of time. And today we have our guests, and guests are like gods. So I want to serve them. And they eat the flesh of doe. I want to sacrifice my body for them. And first of all, I go to the village and bring a small ember so that they can light fire and the ward off the cold. So he flew and brought an ember and said to the men that, oh, light a fire. There are a lot of dry leaves and it will be comfortable for you. And when they have lighted fire and they are comfortable, the doe said to her wife that I'm going to die for them. They will eat my flesh. And the wife said, no, I will go. He said, no, you have a child, so you have a son, you take care of that, I go. So he died and said to the people that I am going to dive into the fire, I am going to be into the fire, and you eat my flesh. And then the wife thought that, there are three people, husband took one responsibility, one mission, I can fulfill. She also jumped. And the son also jumped, because parents' mission. So all three died, but they didn't eat. They just, buried them. Then in the morning, the girl went her home. Prince, the sadhu said to the king that I have given the answer of your question. This young man, who was a monk, he could easily throw away his cloth and be an emperor. Had the most beautiful woman, had so much wealth, but he spat it and went away. He is a true sannyasi. He will go to the eternity. And this doe, the family, they die for others, die for the good of others. Their mission is to help others, even if it is at the cost of their life. Even if they have to die, at the cost of their life, they help others. So they are the real householders. So neither householders are great, nor sannyasins, the monks are great. It is the ideology which is great. What mission you have. If you have, whether you are householder or a monk, if you are too much busy with the mundane things, and you are all the time a mundane person, making your mind all the time busy with material things, your sense world, you are nobody. If you have a high mission, then you are great. So, I think that householders can also have, because these days the householders don't have a mission. They start quarreling after some time because they don't have mission. If they have a mission, then they would not be quarreled, Both would serve the mission. And they would have feedback from the mission. So now they don't have any high feedback. That's why all quarrel. So I always believe that if somebody has to be married, for 5 years they need some training. Both couple, both husband and wife. Before marriage, they should have a training of social service, spirituality, culture, all these things if they have, and after marriage they will not be quarrel. Because they will be busy with culture and all these things, and on petty things they quarrel. Because they don't have culture, they don't have any high spiritual mission. So on petty things start quarreling and then get divorced and fight. And be unhappy. Go to hell. Sorry.